I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
Really?
Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Dacius has got your back though.
What do you think about the golden rule?
It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Obtain a bow. I'll see what I can do. Wait, did the magistrate ban weapons?
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, friend.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Certainly. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
How can I come up with 1,000 denarii? You're price gouging of a life-saving medicine? What's wrong with you? How can I come up with it?
That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
I'm surprised they didn't make him laugh.
Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget?
I'll be going.
Very well. Another time.
So I think I see that we have to like get a bow, give it to him, and he'll give us the resin, but it will make the magistrate angry with us, right? Bottle of Silphium resin, extremely valuable ancient Roman remedy for various afflictions. Okay. We can't steal it. I'll kill everybody.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Can we convince him to make a bow?
A new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with
Yes.
Julia's death?
German,
I
yeah.
wish we could have met under better circumstances.
What's your story?
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people, that kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Yeah, I'm an archaeologist. Tell me about the history.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
Is it common for Romans to copy Greek art?
Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question,
But
who really built this place?
time
And
doesn't really have a meaning
Could
here,
it
does
be
it?
far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The
I suppose it
stories
does.
they could tell.
Okay. Lewis James. I am good. How are you? The family is all good. Had a great weekend. Physically active. I went for a run on Saturday and Sunday. Pretty tired, but doing good, doing good. Tell me about the architecture.
Gladly.
How about yourself? You okay?
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman
Sounds good,
engineering.
yeah. He's
With a very practical
sleeping
purpose.
right now.
They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's
Distribute.
funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way
Fortune
inside
smile
somehow.
on you, brother.
Just, please,
Oh,
try to be a bit more discreet about it.
find a way into the upper cistern. What games have I've been playing Dishonored recently. I completed the base game and I was playing the DLC. I started the DLC. And then my friend Fairby, he gifted me the Forgotten City, which is like a choice-based mystery kind of puzzle dialogue-y kind of game, which is what we're playing through now. And I feel after Dishonored and Forgotten City, perhaps maybe we'll be starting Resident Evil 4. We'll see. How about yourself?
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're
R6?
all left wondering,
And do you like Sons of the
which
Forest?
god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Okay.
Of course.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision. My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. Do you know a way out?
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I'd tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the Golden Rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Novio Magus, and learned to expect a bit of hostility. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the Romans.
Okay. Yeah, I heard the Sons of Forest. I heard that it was a good game, but it had a lot more work to be done on it. It looks good. I like that kind of game, but I'm not yet convinced to pick it up yet.
Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me.
Early access, yeah.
Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
No, I really don't. Like, what? Just to say you don't do a crime. I mean, it's so subjective.
Fair enough.
It's so subjective.
Oh, it means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the golden rule.
Oh, The Remnant. Yeah, I really want to play that game again. I loved that game. I really did. I saw it came out on the Switch recently. I hope more people are playing it. Did you see the trailer for the second game? There's like a gameplay trailer for Remnant 2. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's gonna be great. Dialogue does make you think. I think it's just Remnant 2, if I'm not wrong. Remnant 2 gameplay. Yeah, there you go. Oh, no. There you go. I would recommend watching it. It looks really good. I'm really surprised they're making a new one. I didn't expect them to make a new one, but holy hell, I can't wait. It's gonna be great. Hey, Panic, how you doing? It means someone thinks I'm a sinner and I'm not gonna break the golden, and I'm going to break the golden rule. Why?
Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just
I'm up
has a
for that,
problem
Lewis
with
James.
my
Yeah, 100%.
preference for male company.
You're like, oh, what? That's not a crime. Is that a crime? I mean, personally, that's not a crime. But does this god think that that's a crime?
Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance.
Awesome.
I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself.
That's a good point,
So I
Feva,
hid who I
yeah.
was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am.
Good for
Or at
you,
least
man.
I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who it is?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested
Good for you,
in
Lewis
any
James.
of the men
I'll see you
here.
in 10 minutes.
Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule.
I'll look into it for you.
What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
See what I can do.
Nice
go.
to talk to you.
Ask the merchants in the forum for clues about Virgil's secret admirer. You have to flip from going to bed at 6 a.m. to waking up at 8 a.m. Jesus. There's some flip. Right. What was it to check my journal? Is it tab? There we go. Main goals leads. Dying gas. Something's wrong at the Shrine of Apollo. We can't do that because I'm not stealing it. Obtain a bow. What does it say? A bow might come in useful. I need to get into the upper cisterns somehow. Let's do this one. The Sinner. Why is it still showing me Syphilum? Oh, because I didn't... Yeah. Stranger.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land. Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus
I'd never
to
wear
the
leather
farms of
boots.
India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
My nation doesn't exist yet. I'm from beyond the edge of the known world. You'd never believe me if I told you. My nation doesn't exist yet.
Is this a riddle, or perhaps you mean to say you feel like you are ahead of your time? I feel the same way. Another reason for us to stick together. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
What's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum.
Why here?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
It does seem kind of unnecessary.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads.
I don't know what
you
that
agree?
accent is. It's very sing-songy. He keeps going up and down. Suppose so.
Oh, and there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
How did you end up there?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
What do you remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
You floated down the Tiber?
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger.
Karen?
I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am. Anything you like.
Who are you gonna vote for?
That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way.
Huh?
Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
Who's Domitius? How do you get out of here?
Not so loud. What are you playing at?
Sorry.
Have you not been told about the last attempt?
No?
Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
Why don't you tell me?
Of Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say,
Too
if
far.
it fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out.
Why hasn't anyone done that?
They have. I am getting to that. There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place.
Is
So I
that
say,
Jeff
it's
Bezos?
best to not even discuss it aloud.
This is Georgius. So, the last escape attempt, that surely was a crime. Maybe it wasn't. I guess that's not a crime then. Huh. But everybody seems to be scared about escaping. What do you think about the golden rule?
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Why do you say that?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades.
Greek,
the evil
yeah.
one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew